Alright guys, welcome sink side. Before I do anything else, I'm just going to sanitize my sink. So I have my hot water running. I'm just going to rub my cleaning sponge over my sink first. I'm going to spray a little bit of bleach and some soap water. And I'm going to rub that. You want to do this before you start washing your chicken and after you wash your chicken. Then I'm going to add some soap and I'm going to do the same thing. You can use somewhat of a warm water, or you could use hot water. My water is completely at full temperature. And now I'm going to spray some vinegar. Let the hot water on and just rinse it. Alright, we can start cleaning. So first I'm going to rinse my chicken before I do anything to it. So rinse it off. And I'm going in to the cavity with my finger to remove any remnants of like organs that were there before. Go under the skin. I'm just going to drain my chicken. Dump it in the sink. Go over it one more time, because oftentimes if you don't do that, then you're stuck with all that membrane under the skin like that, okay? And one of the worst things is that you can, like, you're eating fried chicken or chicken for that matter, and all you're doing is biting into all that membrane and you see all that slime. You know, that's like really disgusting in my eyes. So yeah, so just want to get as much of the membrane off before I do anything to it. You see that right there? There's so much there. Alright, my next step is adding some salt, some distilled vinegar, and a lime. Cut it in half. Squeeze that in there. And add in cold water to it. You want to leave the lime skins in there. And this is going to soak for about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been 20 minutes. Now you can see all that gunk that is sitting on top of the chicken. So the longer it sits, the more of that gunk will come off. So like the most I would tell you to let your chicken sit is about 25 to 30 minutes. Especially when it comes to unconventional chicken. When it comes to organic chicken, not so much, because it's not as processed as other chicken. So this is what it looks like. So with the help of the vinegar, help of the salt, and help of the lime, this is what all that stuff removed, okay? So it's removing all this. All right, I'm going to drain my chicken. And I'm going to dump it back in my sink. Rinse my bowl out. And I'm going to rinse each piece of my chicken individually. So if you take a closer look, you can see how clean the chicken is. Drain off all the excess water. I'm going to show you guys how I sanitize all my stuff, like my cutting board, my knives, and all the stuff that I use to cut my chicken on, and then I'm going to show you guys how I sanitize my sink. So we're going to rinse this with some hot water. So I sanitize the sink before I wash and sanitize anything else that had chicken on it, okay? So a little bleach and soap water. And I'm just going to go over it. Just like I did the first time, it's no different. But since this is a cleanup, I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you guys through my entire step. You want to get in between these parts of the sink and your drain as well. And soap. Spray some bleach on my thing and do it right here since I didn't do it the first time. Then we're going to rinse. If you don't want to get this part of your sink wet, you can use a dish towel to wipe that up. Okay, so I'm going to wet my dish towel. I'm going to wipe that off. And then we're going to add vinegar. Alright, you want to just rinse it with some hot water. These are the things I use to do the chicken. So I'm just going to take off these pieces of chicken. Okay. So yes, I do sanitize my sink first before I wash anything else that had chicken on it. And I'm going to use some paper towel. You can have a sponge for chicken and stuff like that. Whenever you clean your meats, you can have that. And then you throw it out and you just replace it each time you do it. Or you can use paper towel and just rinse it out. So now that my utensils and my cutting boards are clean, I'm going to get some soap on my sponge and start washing my dishes. This is my process every single time I have to clean meat. Whether it's seafood, poultry, beef, it is always like this. Always, always, always. I'm going to plug my sink. Fill with hot water and vinegar. And a little bit of bleach and soap. I'm going to let this soak for a little bit in hot water. Alright guys, so this is what my sink looked like, okay? It looks exactly like this. With the vinegar, the bleach, a little bit of soap water, and my things sit in it to sanitize for about 15 to 20 seconds. Once it is sanitized, I remove it, put it into my dish drain, and I go ahead and I sanitize my sink. Once again, exactly how I did it the first time when I started, and how I did it just before I put all my utensils and my stuff into the sink.